One of the many reasons I like working with Mike is he does so many vocal layers, and I think that makes him stand out as an artist. We come up with harmony ideas, and at any given time, there's 6 to 10 vocal layers going on, harmonies and everything. But if you're just listening, it sounds really cool, but if we took out any of those layers, the song would have a totally different vibe, and it wouldn't have the impact it does. I think that's kind of where he really stands out, is his ability to hit all those ranges, hit the harmonies, come up with the ideas for them. A lot of people aren't doing that these days. I mean, the big artists are. Every big artist has a bunch of vocal layers. But I appreciate working with Mike on a lot of levels, and his artistry is just on point.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Michael back with another episode of Bald-Headed Chronicles, and today's topic is stay your ass in the studio. Let's go. I no longer use this crap. I don't think I've ever had so many razor bumps across my head, man, and I hate that. For my new product, Cremo. I've heard a bunch of good reviews about this one specifically. This is the Sage and Citrus. Hopefully it works better for my skin and I get a little less irritation or a closer shave. We'll see how it goes. I always like to rock with Harry's. When I turned 18 is when I really decided to take it serious. Just getting my feet wet and stuff out there in Texas and everything like that. I found myself moving to Vegas. I had never been to the West Coast. I didn't know anyone out there except for my mother and my stepdad. So I didn't really know what to expect. I was just going out there on a blind faith, you know. Being from Montgomery, Alabama, that is a very long distance away from home. And the only thing I really understood was that Vegas was a party city. So after having done so much partying out in, you know, Houston and stuff like that, I really just wanted to focus on music. But being out there, I was bartending and serving, and I was working at a Greek restaurant. I came across one of my partners, Jason, one of the coolest dudes I met out there in Vegas, man. He was always 100 with me. You know, we ended up chopping it up for a while, and we got cool. I showed him a few songs that I had been writing at the time, and he, at that point, told me, hey, man, you got something. Little did I know, my boy Jay had a few connections out in Vegas, and he told me he would plug me in. And then out of the blue, my boy Jay hits me up. He's like, hey man, what you doing? I was like, nothing, just chilling at the crib. He was like, you trying to ride with me? I was like, all right, bet. Now I didn't know where we were going at the time. After about 10 minutes of riding around the city, we pull up to a crib. And at this point I had remembered that Jason was telling me, yo, I got somebody I'm gonna link you with, and he does music. And we walk in. One of Jay's partners was sitting on the couch, and he was just kicking it, man. You know what I'm saying? He said, what's up, man? My name's Jazz. Real chill dude. I was like, bet. And then my boy Jay was like, yeah, this is the dude I was telling you about that do music. Check him out real quick. At that point, Jazz hopped up, ran upstairs, grabbed the speaker, and he came back down. And he got straight to it. And this is how I knew I was in like a different bracket for a second. He said, spit me what you got. Nothing else. Put me on the spot. Bet. I start spitting. I spit my first song. He says, what else you got? I spit my second song. What else you got? I spit my third song. I'm in the bathroom shaving my head. I'm getting hungry, think I need me some bread. It's breakfast time, so I'm eating some eggs. And I'm just playing.
Pretty quickly we know whether or not something's going to work or not. You know, every idea doesn't work every time. Sometimes it sounds better in your head than it does in reality.
After the third song, he looks me in my face and he says, hey man, you got something. I'm going to give you a place to record since you don't know nobody out here. Some days go by. He tells me to come through to the studio. Now, once again, like I said, I'm in Vegas, so I don't really know where I'm at. And I'm about 30 minutes away from the crib, and I pull up to this house. Beautiful house. Once I get inside, I start recording, you know what I'm saying? We start laying down tracks. And I was literally, you know, kind of big brothered into a situation that I should have been more prepared for. What Jason was doing was extending his hand. And what Jazz was doing was receiving the handshake. And what I was supposed to do was go in there and do my due diligence. After about 3 months of recording, he would keep telling me things like, yo, you need to stay in the studio. Kia Red was also grinding at his craft too. And they would all tell me things like, yo, you're not in the studio enough. Yo, you need to stay in the studio. I wanted to do things Michael's way without realizing, hey man, this is a major opportunity to even be in the building with these cats. I would have these opportunities to go to the studio whenever I felt. Just make a phone call and get any access I needed to get the shit done that I needed to get done. Cause not Jazz, Kid Red, Jay, none of them had to give me any advice or do anything for me. Yet they gave me a place to come in and work on my craft. And I would always use excuses. One of my main excuses would always be money. And it was myself using money as an escape to not go do the things I knew I had to do. I don't got enough money to put down on the studio, or I can't get in here at the right time because this don't match this or this ain't doing that. After a while, people don't want to hear that shit, man.
And then they're ready to go.
Can't sleep on those blessings, you know, and I know that now. I found myself going to the studio less and less. 3 days a week turned to 2 days a week. 2 days a week turned to 1 day a week. 1 day a week turned to 1 day a month. And after a while, man, I wasn't even going. Jazz stopped fucking with me. Kia Red stopped fucking with me. And even Jason would come to me sometimes and ask me like, yo, what the hell are you doing, man? Why are you not in the studio? Why are you not dropping this stuff? People want me on songs. I'm not in the studio to be able to get the stuff done. But you know, I honestly say all of that stuff to say this, man. It's one thing to be around people that say they do music, you know? But then it's like a whole nother ball game to be around people who you know for a fact do music, like they really doing this shit. And that's what I didn't realize. I'm not just wasting my time. And that is a very important rule that I had to learn. Now, saying that, time goes by and I moved to Denver. Once again, fresh in the city. I don't know anybody. So I go on Google one day and I'm searching for studio. And I come across an ad for a studio. I set up an appointment. I tell myself, yo, this year, when you start this music shit up again, you're not quitting. You going as hard as you can and you finna drop bangers all year. I had gotten to a point where I was sick and tired of people telling me, yo, stay in the studio.
You know, he comes into the studio in with a few songs that obviously he's spent time writing. And
this was the time I was going to take the time to actually work on my craft and keep my ass in that studio.
What you like, the waffles or the curlies or the tubes? It don't really matter what you like, is what we choose.
I get to the lab, don't really know who I'm working with, and the place is fire. I immediately get a dope vibe from this place, you know what I'm saying? I'm all excited. I'm all types of hype. And I see no other Brad. We exchange our what's ups and stuff like that, the normal. And I could tell at first we were both trying to read each other's energy because we didn't know each other from a lick of paint. The first song me and B work on is Nasty.
so we lay down the lead vocals.
I start going, ooh, she nasty, ooh, she nasty.
Nasty, oh she nasty, oh she nasty, oh she nasty, oh she nasty.
No lie, I put this on God. This was Brad, and this is how I knew. I was in the right spot, and from here it was a wrap.
Michael Spite and I have been working together a little less than a year at this point, I think. And we started out, we did a quick recording mixing session, just working on one single as our first time together. And it just clicked. Like, the song turned out great. We worked great together. Everybody loved the song.
And I was like, he got way too much soul and too much flavor for us to not work together.
we've just gotten in this groove where we work really well together, come in to the studio, knock out some bangers.
It's one thing to be in the studio and have your producer, you know what I'm saying, like rock and do their normal, like. It's another thing to be in the studio and you can visibly see that somebody is enjoying going through the process with you. And me and Brad took our first break. I told him right then and there, I said, hey man, we about to get a lot of shit done this year. And I don't care what I have to do to get this stuff done. Brad looked at me and he said, let's do the damn thing. From then it was a wrap.
We just keep making magic. That's all I can say about it, is it's just magic.
I had this crazy feeling in my heart, man, that like, if I didn't stay in the studio and do every single thing in my power to make sure that happened, it felt like I would lose the blessing that God had given me. It felt like I would lose my voice. And I promised Brad right then, yo, I'm staying in the studio. And he knew it. I'm pretty sure he could look at me and tell, yo, this kid's not joking. Little did I know, months later, I would actually have to eat those words and own up to what I had promised myself and my producer.
This shit get stupid if the greed is more than ordinary. So I can't choose it if the scene ain't close to sort of scary. Cause I confusion if the green ain't come with more discouraged.
It's amazing to me how you can say certain things and the universe will literally check you to make sure what you said wasn't on no bullshit. I dropped Nasty, we go into a daggone pandemic. What am I supposed to do with that?
What should I do? These ain't no questions for the ordinary. My fortune teller keeps a local guy the corners buried.
I looked at the universe and said, I'm gonna sell my car. That was one of the hardest things I ever had to do, man. But it came down to, do you want to whip or do you want to record? You want to get your music out or do you want to ride around and listen to music that ain't yours? And I'm looking at the universe like, dude, universe, please understand. I've done this too many times.
Let me dub that, because that's good to be on the bottom. So I'm gonna dub that one, and then this one I'm gonna keep that one. I gotta take some motherfucking breath, man. I feel like I be in here losing weight.
The thing about it is I wasn't even making more money or anything like that. I literally was downsizing my life to stay in the studio because I now had enough knowledge to understand that Jazz, Kid Red, and all of those guys weren't telling me to stay in the studio for their own pleasure. They were telling me to stay in the studio because, hey man, you have the opportunity to do something. So you need to work your ass off because it ain't gonna just come to you. And I didn't understand that. Hey, I do want to say appreciate it, man, because y'all didn't have to do none of that. So I say thank you. One thing I can honestly say is staying in the studio has allowed me to increase my craft tenfold. Brad's one of the coldest producers I've ever worked with in my life, and I keep saying,
bitch, I jump off the ship of accomplishments. If a boss ain't shit, how I'ma get rich and I don't need offerings.
This year in music has been one of my most consistent years that I've had. Thank you to the ones that have helped me this far. And thank you to everyone who continues to listen.
Something between the way we work together and our styles of what musically we enjoy and all that, it just clicks. So, all you guys out there, keep listening to Michael Spike, because I think the best is yet to come.
Other things ain't been to get accomplishments for me and a rocket shit. Would leave my team on the rock that splits. Gotta lock that shit like a dot that skins on the dot that's crisp. You remind me of a nice ass grown out bitch. You remind me of a nice ass grown out bitch.
We all shavy wavy. We all freshy weshy. I want to thank y'all for tuning in to another episode with your boy. And we out.
I'm just playing, man. Y'all know that's Brad's job. I ain't doing that shit.